Here we are. We are back with Kassidy. Kassidy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's great to be here today.
Yes, we're really excited to talk with you. I know in our introduction we gave a brief intro of your background here at MSU Northern, but if you wouldn't mind for our listeners just introducing yourself, where you're from, and what your affiliation is here at MSU Northern.
So I was born in Havre, Montana, but my parents moved back to Havre when I was 3 years old. I've grown up in Havre on a family farm and ranch 20 miles north of Havre my whole life, and I didn't really decide I was going to go into nursing until my senior year in high school, but then I kind of stuck with it, and I've been working in the admissions office here at the college ever since while going to school. And
Very
yeah.
cool. So nursing at MSU Northern. I know a lot of folks might say, oh, Havre, MSU Northern, I know that's pretty well known for agriculture, for their diesel program, for their 4-year diesel program. What folks might not know is just the power and the strength of the nursing program here. Can you talk a little bit about when you started in the nursing program and some of your experiences there?
So I started in the nursing program a year after I graduated. So my first year in college, I took all my prerequisites, and then the nursing program is definitely a competition kind of to get in. You have to take a Kaplan exam before you can get in, and it's really competitive on grades, so your prerequisites are a big factor on getting in. My freshman year, I really focused on my grades. I got like straight A's and B's, and then I was lucky I got into the nursing program my first year. So now I'm in my second year in the nursing program, and I'll be able to graduate this May.
This May?
Yep.
Into
May
the real
7th.
world.
Yep.
How are you feeling about that?
It's really exciting to get started, but it's also really nerve-wracking to think I'll be a real nurse in the summer already.
Right. Real patients. But I'm guessing in the nursing program you get some exposure to real patients. The hospital, I can see it, from campus. It's that close.
Yeah.
Do you get on campus with the classrooms? Have you spent some time in the local hospital here?
Yep. So we do clinicals in the hospital here. We have got to go to Bullhook, the clinic. We've got to go to a few mental health facilities in town. So we get a lot of clinical hours, which is really nice, and then obviously a lot of classroom time as well.
Yeah. Let's back up a little bit and talk about, you mentioned the competitiveness of the nursing program. That first year when you are doing those prerequisites, somebody who's listening to this thinking, I want to go into the nursing program at MSU Northern, what advice might you have for them? Or can you talk to them a little bit about how that works? So they don't just start in the nursing program. Talk to them a little bit about your journey there and about some of those classes they'll be taking.
So if you think you want to go into nursing, there's already a set prerequisites that need to be taken before you can get into the program. And if your advisor is a nursing advisor, then they'll really help you out, get you scheduled for your classes. They try not to overdo your classes, which is really nice. But if you know that's what you want to go into, you can just get them out of the way your first year. And I would just really focus on those prerequisites, and especially your anatomy, chemistry, microbiology, and try and get good grades in them so that you have a better chance of getting in your first year.
Anatomy and physiology. That's one that people get really nervous about.
Oh, yeah.
Rightfully so. Is that a pretty difficult class, and how should they prepare for that at Northern? Because I know it's different. I talk to other students at different schools, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, this one it's impossible. 20% pass rate." Is it different here? Is it easy to get access to tutoring, things like that?
Oh yeah, we have a student support services on campus that offers tutors all year, so that's really helpful. One of the biggest things I think is find a friend in the anatomy class that you can study with, because it's a lot easier to study with someone who's in the class with you than someone out of class and they're like, "Oh, you're doing great. I had no idea what that was," because there's a lot to know. But I think just working hard and actually focusing on it, things will come to you. And then as the year goes on, things really start to click.
Cool. So maybe don't be so nervous if I'm
Yeah.
going into the A&P program. Okay,
And
good to know.
Find a friend.
Find a friend.
Yeah.
Yep. Nursing, let's talk about life after graduation because it's coming right up. It's February. What are you hoping to get into? How are you hoping to use the program, the nursing degree that you're receiving from MSU Northern?
So I'm getting my ASN degree this May, and then I'm also going to continue on to get my BSN, which is a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, as well as soon as I graduate. And I've already started taking some of my bachelor classes so that I only have one more year and then I'll have my bachelor's. But I want to get started right away. I'll probably start working at the Northern Montana Hospital here as soon as I graduate. And they have a new grad program that you can go into that's a 12-week program. So I'm hoping to do that and then probably just work on med surg for a little bit, get my skills down as a new nurse. And then, yeah, hopefully I can just get started with my career.
Cool. Cool. Let's talk. I know we're kind of going out of chronological order quite a bit here, but I do want to hear about life and your decision to get to Northern. How did you make that decision? Because in Havre, not born in Kalispell, moved here at age 3. Were you looking other places and thought, Havre just fits? And I know MSU Northern. I kind of want to stay here. And you also mentioned before that you lived on campus. Can you talk about that decision as well?
Yeah, so I have lived here since I was 3. Family is definitely a big factor. I have a very close family. Community is huge for me. I've been involved in the community since I was little, and I'm very much a homebody. So I did apply to one other college, and I applied to Butte for the nursing program as well. And I got accepted to both here and Butte. But my end factor was I didn't really want to leave home. So definitely much a homebody, but I know Butte also has a great nursing program. And
Yeah, I think that's great. And living on campus, a lot of folks might say, well, you could save some money, live at home. You're in Havre. You chose to live on campus. I love that decision, but talk to some students about why you did that.
yeah, so I also have 2 older siblings. My brother also went to Northern, and I know my mom really pushed him to live in the dorms just to meet new people, get experiences on campus with things going on. She kind of did the same thing for me. I didn't want to live on campus, actually. I told her I'd rather live at home with her. But she's like, no, I think you need to do it. She kind of was a little bit of a push, but a good push. I really loved living on campus. I met a whole bunch of new people that I'm still friends with today and probably will be lifelong friends. You get to be so much more involved on campus if you live in the dorms. And it might be a little bit more money, but I don't know. I thought it was a really great experience. I definitely recommend it for all new incoming freshmen.
Certainly different than living at home your first year. It's like, okay, I'm going to go to class and then go back home, especially going to, you attended Havre High School.
Yep.
And so some folks might think, well, it feels like a 13th year. Very much not the case when you're living on campus, when you're involved in student activities. Did you get involved on campus? I know now you're in the admissions office working sometimes a lot of hours in the summer during school, probably less since you're going to school. But talk about how being on campus and getting involved on campus has been for you.
I think it's been great. You definitely get to hear about all the activities going on. There's always little activities on campus in like the sub ballroom, little game nights. They had a movie night my freshman year on the lawn. That was really cool. I don't think I ever would have went to that if I wasn't living on campus. Little like games like golf tournaments, games in the sub like ping pong, pool. If you live on campus, it can just be little things like everyone's done with homework on the weekend or something and everyone goes and hangs out at the sub. You just get to meet so many more people. And I was a part of Student Senate my freshman and sophomore year, and that was really cool to be a part of. We started a food bank on campus for students that stayed on campus during the holidays. So that was really cool to be a part of as well.
Wow. When you grow up in Havre, attend school at Northern, I'm sure you meet a lot of people that are not from Havre.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And they attend school, and then you sort of know the blueprint. You're familiar with town. Do you feel like sort of a VIP in that way? People are like, hey, where's the hiking trails? Where's the coolest places to go? And do you feel like, oh, when I'm a freshman at school and nobody knows the area except me, I sort of have a leg up?
A little bit. I actually had a few friends that came to college here as well that are from Havre, and we definitely met some friends that were not from here. We had one friend who was from Alaska, and so that was a big change, kind of moving to Montana. and little small town of Havre. We did take him out to the mountains, showed him some trails, took him to the lake. He's got to meet all of our families and everything. So it's really cool, yeah. And we definitely take him to the little spots to eat around town that are just small town Havre.
Right. What are some of the good? Are there sort of hole in the wall secret places to eat in town? What's the place to go?
I think a lot of people's favorite is Rod's. That's
Okay.
Havre special. Wolfers is really good. Great milkshakes, great burgers. There's a lot of new incoming restaurants as well that are really good, but I like those too.
Yeah, driving down Main Street, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of doors, a lot of places that look like they've got some good secret menu items,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
but I needed the inside scoop, so that's good. I'll have to re-listen to this and go check out those places. Um, Talk a little bit about sort of financial aid and tuition and were you looking out of state at any schools? I know you mentioned Butte. Were you considering out of state, or was in state always pretty much your option?
I think in-state was always my option. I
Hmm.
didn't really look at out-of-state colleges or apply to any out-of-state colleges.
Cool. And the friends you've made here, what are they up to? What are they also approaching graduation? Are they experiencing any anxiety, excitement, all of the above?
Yeah, so I have made some lifelong friends also in the nursing program. Both of those two especially will be graduating with me this spring, which is really great. I think all of us have the same nerves, like excited to get going in our careers, but very nerve-wracking. And then I also have some other friends as well that are going to be nearing graduation in ag and diesel, some business. So I
Yeah.
think everyone's kind of feeling the same.
Yeah. Are they lined up with jobs, looking, sort of taking a gap year? What are they? How's their current
Um,
employment status looking?
I think everyone I know is still kind of more applying to jobs right now,
Hmm.
figuring out where they want to go, picking their choices.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Um, were there any questions that I didn't ask you that you're like, oh, I wish you asked me about this that I was involved in, or oh, I wish we got a chance to talk about this part of campus? You mentioned the SUP. What is that?
The sub ballroom. So down
Or
in
the
this,
sub? Is
yep,
it
the
sub?
sub, yep.
Okay, not stand up paddleboard. The
No,
sub. Okay, got it.
yeah. They have a food court down in the sub. They have a little bowling alley down in the basement, a weight room, two pool tables, ping pong table, kind of a movie room. So it's kind of, we call it like the sub ballroom where activities happen, the sub like food court, and then downstairs is like the games and stuff.
Cool.
I spent a lot of time there my freshman year, and it's a lot of fun. You make a lot of memories.
Yeah. And people just kind of pop in. It's not like, okay, from 8 to 9 is pool and
Yeah, no,
10 to, it's just hang out. People will be stopping by.
yep,
That's really cool. I got a chance to tour yesterday, and we went down there. I couldn't decide if it was the SUP or the sub, but it seemed really neat. And the bowling alley on campus,
yeah,
that's not something that you see every day.
yeah, exactly.
And it's 2 lanes,
Yep,
and do you have to keep score manually? That part I didn't see. Okay.
yep.
See, bowling math is I guess you survived A&P, so it's probably no problem, but bowling math is tricky, right? If you get a spare, you have to like double it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe people listening are like, it's actually really easy, Kyle, but
I
no.
never did the scorekeeping actually.
Okay, good. So we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Havre, the town of Havre, that to me, there's 4,000 colleges in the country. Folks listening to this might be checking out 8 or 9 in one weekend. We're going touring to all the different schools in the Pacific Northwest. I do think Havre is a special place. You seem to agree, being born here or being raised here, going to school here. What is it about Havre that kind of keeps you around and keeps you saying, I really like this place?
I think definitely community based. The college, you come here from out of state, you meet people, you make one connection, you make 10 connections. Like, people are always looking out for each other. And I think that really shows in the college itself with the amount of supporters and donations the college gets. Donations for scholarships, towards the new football field we just got, to the basketball teams, football team, all of our sports activities. Very community based.
Yeah, definitely get that sense. And the location, the bear paws are so close. Do you have activities that you like to do in the bear paws? You don't have to name any secret trailheads, but
Yeah, definitely trails out there, the first and second lake. My freshman year, they did a little thing too where kids could get bussed out, and the school has canoes, and some activities they do, and I know they went out there and took some kids on the canoes, had some activities in the grass when it was nice out before classes really got started. So I think that's really cool.
Very cool. What do you say to somebody out of state that looks at Havre and says, seems a little cold up there? Would you say, hey, yeah, stay away, or put on a jacket, toughen up, it's good for you?
I would say bring some winter clothes, especially if you're not used to it. But I think being around here, I think you do get used to it. And just this winter, we had like the -20, -30 degree weather. But you get used to it, and then the next thing you know, it's 0 degrees out, and people are walking around in a sweatshirt. Your body just adjusts to how cold it really gets. But
good advice. You sort of turn into a chameleon in some ways.
yeah.
And then when it gets to 70, you're sweating bullets. Oh my gosh, it's so hot.
It's crazy. When it gets 70 degrees out in the spring, people are in shorts and T-shirts.
Totally. Yeah, I think that's true in all of Montana. We celebrate spring in a big way.
Yeah,
in a big
exactly.
way. Like, here we go. The sun is shining. Great. Any last word? Any other things for folks who are thinking about the nursing program? Any college advice? You're in admissions. You probably get a lot of questions about like, what I'm in high school. What should I be thinking about? What should I be preparing for?
I think as a high schooler, just prepare all of your stuff. If you know what you're going into, apply early, start working on your financial aid, and get talking to an advisor for what classes you want to be in. For people going into the nursing program, I think completely do it. There's always a nursing shortage right now. If you think it's what you want to do, I would always stick with it. Listen to the people that say you can do it, because you can. And yeah, Northern's a great place to be. You'll meet a lot of people.
You mentioned the nursing shortage, and I know that was sort of the last question, but I want to follow up. And it seems like Havre's in such a unique location that there's not another university within, in some cases, hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
And so the High Line, which is, for those that don't know, this highway that runs east to west in the state of Montana, and the northern part of the state, it really depends on the graduates of MSU Northern in a different way than if you're going to school in Boston where there's 80 colleges. And okay, well, there's a lot of students here.
Yeah.
The High Line and northern Montana, north central Montana, really depends on the students here. I get that sense. So thanks for the work that you're doing. Thank you to the work of the nursing program here, because I do think that's a big piece of the community, like you mentioned.
Yeah, for sure.
Kassidy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This has been a great episode. If you have questions about the nursing program, the admissions office is not always open, but their email inbox is always open, and Kassidy works in the admissions office, so you might just get a response from her at least for the next couple of months before she graduates.
Yep, exactly.
Thanks a lot, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Northern and Beyond. If you have any questions about getting started at MSU Northern, feel free to contact our admissions office by visiting msun.edu. You can talk with guests, professors, and schedule your campus visit. We know the college search process can be complicated. We're here to provide clarity. So come visit our campus, talk with our team, and experience the remarkable programs happening on Montana's High Line.